When everything at work feels shaky, most people pull back. They keep their heads down, they hope it passes, but that's exactly when leaders show up. I'm Bukhalo Gantala, and welcome to Beyond the Pattern. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 3 of a 4-part series where we've been talking about Maya and Devin, leaders who realized their old approaches weren't working anymore. Today, we're talking about what you can learn if leadership is on your horizon and everything around you feels uncertain. Let's talk about what's happening right now. Budgets are shrinking, roles are staying open, and workloads keep growing. There's research from McKinsey showing that almost 70% of companies are struggling to fill critical roles, even though the pressure to deliver keeps going up. And that's shaking people at every level. Even Deloitte found that over 60% of emerging leaders are looking at the chaos at the top and asking themselves, do I even want that job? Now, maybe that's you. Maybe you've thought, is that job even worth it? Do I want to move up? What if my role disappears next? Those are real questions, but here's the thing. This is exactly when leadership skills get built. Not when things are calm, when things are messy. We've talked about Maya and Devin, both stepped into bigger roles, right? But both were excited and ready, then reality hit. Vacancies, pressure, expectations that kept growing. And from the outside looking in, it's easy to judge, but this is really what leadership actually looks like. It's not always pretty. It's really who you are during a crisis. Who are you going to be in this moment where there's a need? And if leadership is on your radar, this is the time to pay attention, not run away from it. Learn from it. Here's what most people miss. While everyone's watching those leaders struggle, all the eyes are on them, those leaders are also watching you at the same time. They're noticing who leans in when things get hard. They're noticing who brings solutions instead of complaints. And they're noticing who steadies the room instead of adding to the chaos. Those actions matter. And when promotion conversations happen later, those are the names that come up. So instead of pulling back, here's what you want to do. Observe. Watch how decisions get made under pressure. Notice what works and what doesn't. And then contribute. Find ways to make things easier. Solve a problem, clarify something confusing, and from there, even paying attention to what gives you energy and what drains you is going to be important. Because when you reflect or take a moment to reflect, that's all data that you can use to prepare yourself for who you're going to be in these moments. Leadership isn't about becoming someone else. It's really about becoming more intentional with who you already are, so that again, when these moments come up, you're able to stay grounded. Now, if you're in this moment trying to figure out what your next move should be, I want to invite you to Beyond the Pattern Live. It's a 90-minute training where I'll teach you different frameworks, and you'll learn how to apply those frameworks to identify your pattern and see where it's costing you, so you can build a plan to shift it. One more thing I wanted to share, another stat, is just that research is starting to show how 70% of senior leaders say they still struggle with self-doubt, even at the top. And confidence isn't a given. It's really something you practice. I think we touched on that in some degree in the other episodes, but I just need to emphasize that because as someone who's worked in HR for 20 years, I've seen and had the privilege of being the confidant of folks that are leading at some pretty high levels. And they do have a lot going on in their lives, just like you do. And it really comes down to finding ways to stay grounded and tapping into what that space feels like for you. And having that community around you makes a difference. But it's something you have to practice. I can't say it enough. The work you're doing now, staying grounded when things are uncertain, that's the same work that they're doing. So let me answer 2 questions that come up a lot. First is, how do I stay motivated when everything feels unstable? Reconnect with why you're here. Remember, what are you building? And don't wait for things to calm down to figure yourself out. Learn how to anchor yourself now. If you want to lead in the future, that's something you need to target now. Pay attention, whether it's an argument with a friend or a disagreement with someone who's a colleague. Pay attention to how that feels in the moment and who you're able to be in that moment. And then tap into, okay, what is going to allow me to reflect and approach those situations differently? Second, how do I know if leadership is even right for me? I mean, that's a question, to be honest, not enough people ask. We raise our hand like, yeah, I want to lead. I want more money. And then we get in the role and it's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be all this. So it's going to be important to pay attention to your energy. What lights you up and what drains you? And then it's also good to talk to leaders that you respect about what it is you really like. I mean, sometimes we forget how many resources are around us. And most leaders I know, if you reach out and say, hey, can I check in with you? Can we do a lunch? Can we meet? And I want to understand more about your experiences in your job. I mean, they would love that. There are very few people I know that would say no to that. Because anyone taking an interest helps them feel less alone, to be quite honest, because a lot of times they're getting the spotlight. They might feel on an island by themselves, and to see someone who's looking to relate to them, that builds trust, and it builds trust for you and builds trust for them. So it's just a chance to see it up close before you commit. Now, if you're ready to go deeper, remember Beyond the Pattern Live is available. The next episode, we're talking about reinvention, why the next level of leadership requires a new version of you. So hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Don't forget about Beyond the Pattern Live. The link is in the show notes for details on those that want to sign up. And then remember, leadership doesn't get built in the easy moments. It really gets built in the harder ones. So lean in, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Enjoy your day, everyone. Bye. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Pattern. If this episode spoke to you, leave a review or send a message. I read every note, and you can reach out to me to get more tools and resources at bucalaogantala.com.